Hey guys, Mike Toy Bonsai Boise. So this is a new tree that I picked up. Let's see if I can pronounce it without butchering it entirely. Chamaecyparis Lawsoniana Elwoodii. Hopefully I said that right. I'm going to refer to it as a Lawson Cypress or Cypress Lawson. Not to be confused with a lemon cypress. Anyways, I just thought it was cool. It's got really dense foliage, dark green foliage. So I'm gonna take it out, repot it in this guy here, and wire it up. So come with me, let's get a little dirty and get to wiring. Okay, so as much as I liked that little Christmas tree cup thing that it was in, thought this one looked better. So I'm gonna switch to this one. It's really small. I don't know much about these. In fact, it's really hard to find decent information about these out there. And I think what that comes down to is that there's a lot of varieties of these cypresses. So I think there's some confusion out there. I've seen some videos where the tree looks like one of these, but yet they're calling it something different. I've seen others where it doesn't look like these and they're calling it the Lawson Cypress. So who knows? I just wanted to, I guess, point that out. So if I am wrong on some of this, feel free to leave it in the comments. Let me know. Let everybody know who's watching so that we can maybe start to sort this out. In the meantime, before we solve all the world's problems with that, let's figure out a plan. So you can see the tiny little pot that it's in there, the little plastic one that it came in, really, really small. So some of those lower branches there that I was showing, I'm hoping, or was hoping to, maybe if they were rooted on their own, use them as, small cuttings or rooted cuttings. Pre-rooted cuttings is what I'd call them. So that's what I'm going to do, is try and dig in there. I guess my overall goal here, or high level goal, is I want to disturb the roots as little as possible. Maybe trim just the ends off. I do that sometimes, I think it kind of spurs some new growth. So I'm trying to just work the soil out of it and kind of get down in there and see what it looks like. But as you can see, after a while here, it's kind of a fine dust falling out of there, and that root ball is just compact. It is just super tight and wound up. So far, it kind of still looks like those bottom branches might be rooted on their own. I see that a lot with nursery stock and trees that I buy in stores, because they usually just take cuttings and stick them in pots, and that's how they grow for a few years. So when you take them out and start working on them, you can see that they're different cuttings. But so far, it's starting to look like, no, those are just really, really low branches, unfortunately. Kind of cool Nabari, though. It was not super easy to work with, just because of how tight that root ball is, which is not a terrible thing. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it was not the easiest one. But I did manage to get a lot of that old soil off, or out, I should say. So off with the lower branches. Back to the overall high-level goal here. What I want to do, I really kind of want to keep it small. I think it looks cool, the size that it is, or close to it. But I want to wire the branches down a little bit so that they're kind of stretching outward more, and instead of such a cone-shaped upright style. You can always come back to that cone shape or upright style, because foliage always wants to grow up. So if we wire them out so that they're coming out more horizontally, that'll give them room to grow up, hopefully. And with time, it will look even fuller that way. And I'm going to try and take some cuttings, because I always do. Trim a couple of these down, put them in some soil. I got a little windowsill heating pad yesterday made specifically for this kind of thing. It just fits right on the windowsill. It's about 3 inches wide and maybe 18 inches long. It just plugs in, and you put cuttings and seeds and plants on it so that this time of year it keeps them just a little warmer. It's supposed to keep them about 10 to 15 degrees warmer than the room temperature. And look, the cuttings fit right in my little Christmas cup. It's a Christmas miracle. Okay, so I'm going to put some screen down here on the bottom. Get some soil in there. I didn't really cut many roots. I think I just trimmed just a little bit of those wild roots down at the bottom off. It's kind of unfortunate because those are the ones that are live and growing. But gotta do it. In the name of bonsai, it has to be done. My apologies for my scratchy voice today as well. A little scratchy past couple days. And I'm just gonna work the soil into that tight little root ball best I can. Fast forward in super duper fast motion here so as to not spend too much time on this. And when I get to the wiring part, you're gonna see the irony of this whole project. These branches and the foliage on these little trees are so soft. You'll see what I mean here soon. It's the kind of a unique experience wiring this one up because the branches were so soft. It's kind of like, imagine trying to wire your shoelace and get it to stay in shape. You know, your shoelace just wants to like unwrap and unravel. That's kind of how it went. Okay, it's draining pretty good. Let's give it a little privacy there. Okay, now we're done. Okay, so time to wire up. I'm gonna start the standard way and get a piece that stretches the 2 bottom branches. Start to wrap it around the branch. This is just 1 millimeter wire. I figured it would be enough for this soft little guy. See that? See how it just said nope and just popped right out of there. So I really just need to wrap the wire, coil the wire around tighter, I guess. Not tighter like constricting wise, but tighter as in tighter coils without as much space in between each wrap. I'm gonna clean up some of the little pieces down there. And I'm gonna do it again. And wouldn't you know, the branches just get softer the further up I go. I think a lot of the footage didn't make the cut because I was fumbling around with it so much. I wanted to keep it relevant. A couple fun facts about this tree that I did learn from, I did a lot of research on it the best I could. It seems that they are native to Northern California and Southern Oregon, which tells me that it would not like cold Idaho winters, so I'm keeping it indoors. Got some good branching up top there. There's one branch in particular I'll show you here in a minute. I think I zoom in on it that I wanted to use, but I just couldn't. It was kind of an oddball branch in an oddball place. I think that might be it. Yeah, I think I was trying to find a way to use it, but in the end, you'll see here in a minute, it just didn't make the cut. So this is my second cypress tree, but my first Lawson Cypress. I just posted a video a week or two ago on a lemon cypress. So I'm feeling cypressy lately, I guess, because I've never worked with them before, and then 2 in the same month. But they are cool little trees. They're very pretty, especially small. I don't care for them as landscaping trees, but as bonsai so far, they're pretty cool. So hopefully you can kind of see the pattern I'm going with here. I wire 2 branches down going, I'm going to call it north and south, and then go up a set and wire them down east and west, and then up a set, north and south. And then I try to crisscross it even more so it's less north and south and more of like a northeast to southwest, and then southeast to northwest, if possible, just to give it a good 360-degree look, so that no matter what angle you're looking at it from, it looks fairly even and balanced. And hopefully you can kind of start to see it a little of what I'm going for here. A little more about what I read on these. They do propagate easy enough from cuttings. And they do like a little bit more water than what, see, there's that oddball branch right there. So I wanted to find a place for it, but just didn't make it. Didn't make the cut. These Lawson Cypress do like a little bit more water than most cypress, from what I understand. They still need that free draining soil. My soil mix, for anybody who hasn't seen a couple of my videos out there, is just perlite, safety absorb, and pine bark. Sifted well to get most of the dust particles out. And just a little bit of refinement work here, just a little cleanup on some of those stubs. The funny thing about doing these bonsai trees, and anybody out there who's worked on them could probably attest, that you never really know how it's going to go. You always think you know. I think, oh, okay, this will be easy, or oh, this one will be hard, or maybe you just don't know. But sometimes they just turn out really cool, and other times it's like they took twice as much effort and it looked terrible. This one, I have to say, I like the way it turned out. It's a good start. It's going to take some time to age and get better, but I'm liking the start that we're on. I think it's a good pot. I think it's a good tree. Didn't overdo it on the wiring. Did just enough. So if you haven't liked and subscribed yet, please do. You can see updates on this one and any other trees I've got. I've got many species. So thank you for everybody who does. Appreciate you watching, and have a good rest of your day.